weather couldn't be better. 85 degrees, 65% humidity, slight wind, and the forecast for continued partly cloudy skies. Alabama won the toss. That's the first time this season the Crimson Tide have won the toss. They have deferred their options, so they will kick off. Jamie Christensen and Jamel Cornelius and Tremaine McCollum are the two deep men for the Florida Gators. Nice, high, deep, but returnable. This is Cornelius. Looking for one more block. There is a flag, actually two of them, back here at the 20 and the 23-yard line.
Probably going to go against Florida for an illegal block, which is going to start them in bad field position on their first offensive possession.
Ken Wagers, the referee. Let's check in with Tracy Wolfson.
Thanks, guys. The buzz is back in Bama. Not only can you see it in this team, you can see it in the whole town. Fans are chanting Roll Tide in the restaurants. Everyone's wearing their crimson. They were so pumped up here Thursday night that the lights went out in town. I had a chance to speak with Brody Crowell yesterday. He said he's never seen it like this, but he was quick to add that it makes no difference unless they come away with a win. Back to you guys.
All right, Tracy, thank you. The penalty against Florida puts the football right at the 10-yard line. Chris Luke out of the gun, the spread offense.
Three-man defensive line right away for Alabama. They've been going to this more often.
D'Amico Ryan's coming. Here is Leak. Pressure from the backside. Got in. Fumble. Florida recovered. That is only the third fumble this season, twice by Chris Leak. They got this one back. D'Amico Ryans, the linebacker, was the guy who came from the back.
And you're going to see this. These guys are threatening blitz, but at the snap, they're going to pull out, and it's only going to be a three-man rush. Actually, Ryans comes, and one of the linemen drops to play screen. They're playing a lot of zone, and Chris Leak had nowhere to go with the football. Mark Anderson gets the first sack of the ball game.
5-yard loss, 2nd and 15.
This is where you like having an experienced quarterback like Chris Leak. He's played in all the tough stadiums.
They test the ground and get nothing. D'Amico Ryans is there along with Rudy Griffin. Rudy Griffin started his collegiate career at the Citadel, played there for 2 years, transferred to Alabama, a lifelong dream. He walked on and is now in his 2nd year as a starter.
And this is where both of these defenses have excelled the first month of the season. Third down, they're the top 2 third-down defenses in the country. Only 25% they've allowed completion. Third and long, very difficult.
And Leak was brilliant the last 2 games on third-down passes. Brilliant. 14 of 16. Deep left side, overthrown, incomplete. Not brilliant here. And the Alabama defense holds.
And good pressure by Wallace Gilberry. One of the keys for Alabama, they've got to get to Chris Leak and make him uncomfortable, and they did in that first possession. A sack on first down and pressure and a knockdown on third down.
Eric Wilbur is on to punt. He's the experienced junior. He's not had a great year. Tyrone Prothro, the punt return specialist, the speedy wideout at the 50-yard line.
And you want to get his hands on the ball right now with good position.
This one nice and high and very effective. Prothro grabs it, fumbles as he is cut down. And the ball is recovered by Florida. I thought surely he's going to call for the fair catch.
Yeah. Well, the problem is teams have been kicking away from him the last 2 weeks. And he wants to make a big play on special teams, and so he's foregoing the fair catch. But a perfect punt by Wilbur puts him right on the sideline, so he doesn't have much room to go. An excellent coverage. I think it was
Reggie Nelson.
Reggie Nelson, the junior college transfer there for the hit. And Florida back in business.
And in business inside the 45-yard line.
Movement. See again, confusion. Not only do you want to confuse the quarterback, but you want to confuse the offensive line and their pass protection. They had 6 guys up around the line.
Full start. 72 on the offense. 75 yards. Now remains first.
Well, we haven't been around Urban Meyer a lot, but enough to know that those pre-snap penalties drive him crazy.
Yeah, you see these guys moving out of there. They showed blitz, then they moved out, and that created a little anxiety by the right tackle, Lance Butler.
1st and 15.
Plus, I think the noise here might have a little bit to do with what's going on right now.
There's the give. Goes to Skylar Thornton, number 25. Chris Leak, a junior, has now gone 115 passes without an interception. Each game this year, he's closing in on the all-time Florida record of 121, held by Danny Werfel. Really has played well.
And the key with him is when he's comfortable and when he sees the defense and reads it and recognizes it, he very rarely makes a bad throw. Very accurate when he knows what he wants to do.
That's Billy Latsko as a fullback. And they hand it off. Goes to Deshaun Wynn. Let's check the offensive line now for the Gators. Up front, we've got Hand, Washington, DeGory, Jim Tart, who played at left guard last week, gets the start at right guard, and Lance Butler. Win. The wideouts are Jackson Cornelius and Dallas Baker, and the tight end Tate Casey. 3rd and 10. Last 2 weeks, just mentioned that, 14 of 16 for 11 first downs. He missed badly on his last one here. Alabama brings 5. Leak fires it. Diving try, it's incomplete.
As soon as you said that about the consecutive passes, he almost got one. Simeon Castile almost came up with the pick, but credit D'Amico Ryans for getting the pressure that forced Leak to leave the pocket. D'Amico Ryans came from the outside, made the pressure, and then Leak trying to throw back across the middle on the run, underthrew the ball, and Simeon Castile almost with the pick. But the good news for Florida, because of the fumble by Prothro, they have flipped the field position completely. Instead of punting from their own end zone, they're punting from midfield. Urban Meyer said after the win in Tennessee, against Tennessee, we are a field position team. That's our identity. Now Prothro calls for the fair catch, grabs it safely at the 13-yard line. A 31-yard punt, but very effective by Eric Wilbur. Early first quarter. Nose. He's got a nose for it. Back at Bryant-Denny in Tuscaloosa, Alabama withheld Tennessee after the fumble by Tyrone Prothro. Brody Croyle, injury-scarred career, healthy now after missing 9 games with a knee injury last year. Off to a good start in 2005. Play fake, Croyle, the senior, wants to go deep for Prothro, who's down there. He's got it, and he is gone. No flags. It was 5'8" Tyrone Prothro on 5'8" Vernell Brown. The Crimson Tide, 5'8", won the race, 87 yards. Jamie Christensen's extra point, up and good. Florida thinking run all the way. They had the other safety, Jarvis Herring, up. The play fake, one-on-one coverage, and Tyrone Prothro, who Dave Rader, offensive coordinator, said, we want to get him 9 to 12 touches. His first touch was bad. Second touch, pretty good. '94-yarder in 1996, a 90-yarder in '87. Well, this is the second time this season now that Florida has found itself trailing in a ball game. They were down 7-0 against Kentucky. There are few truths in an uncertain world, but here's one.
This ain't Kentucky.
That's right.
Christensen with the kick. It will be returned by Cornelius. Not far.
We got helmets flying all over the place. We got guys knocking each other's head off out there. This is going to be a physical game. I mean, that touchdown was a finesse play, but these are two very rugged defensive football teams. They're going to slam at each other all day.
Brian Crum, the backup linebacker, was one of two men who lost his helmet. Well, there was a punt block last week in Lexington, and Kentucky scored on its first series. But you see, for the season, Florida has trailed for only 3 minutes and 37 seconds. Leak, tipped, incomplete. Chris Harris got it.
I'm going to tell you what's happening right now with Alabama's defense. Kentucky last week played almost all four-man line. They were a vanilla defense because of injuries, and they didn't give Chris Leak this look where guys moving in and out. Chris Leak right now is not able to read the defense cleanly, and Alabama is using the same technique that Tennessee used when they played Florida. A lot of three-man front, use your linebackers and safeties to move and disguise and not let him see immediately what they're doing.
Couple of close calls here. He's 0 for 3, but the interception streak remains intact. This one batted as well, and it's intercepted. Chris Harris has got a blocker, and he is down to the 1-yard line. Chris Harris, a junior, hometown kid.
How about these two ends? The first play, Chris Harris gets the tip. The second play, the other end, Mark Anderson gets the tip, and Chris Harris comes down with the interception. 2 plays in a row, the defensive ends got their hand on the ball. Here's Anderson right here, 47. Comes on an inside rush and gets his hands up. And Chris Harris falls into the interception.
That is the first career interception for Chris Harris. And it's 1st and goal just inside the 2.
And more importantly, Chris Leak kind of limped off the field at the end of that play. Be interesting to see if he's okay. 2 fullbacks in the game now for Alabama, McClain and Castile.
It's Castile who gets the handoff. And not much movement in that line. So the interception streak on cue ends. And Chris Leak limping off.
No gain on the play.
You see, after the play, he's going over to try to make a tackle. And I think in the end of the play, that's when Chris Leak tweaked his ankle somehow. But right now, this defense, they need to hold on for Florida. Try to hold Alabama to a field goal here, if at all possible.
Castile, again, the deep back behind McClain. No gain on the last play. They give it to Castile. He tests the left side this time, and again is denied. He's down inside the 1. It'll be 3rd and goal.
We talked about the last couple weeks with Florida's defense missing Ray McDonald, their top defensive end. And on the goal line defense, Ray McDonald used to play inside over the nose where he was really disruptive, right over the center's face. They don't have that guy in there right now. Marcus Thomas is the guy playing over the nose, but 2 good run defensive plays in a row for Florida at the goal line.
Same personnel, 3rd and goal. It's Castile as the deep back. Brody Croyle hands it off to Castile. Touchdown, Alabama. And Chris Leak appears injured. Jamie Christensen on for the extra point. Mike Shula's team up 13-0. An 87-yard pass, Croyle to Prothro. A pass interception by Chris Harris. A 1-yard plunge, the extra point. And how do you do? 2 touchdowns in 1 minute and 42 seconds. And the Crimson Tide have roared to a 2-touchdown lead early in this ballgame. Another look at the interception, Todd.
Well, Chris Leak, as all quarterbacks should do, you throw an interception, you go and try to make the tackle and stop the touchdown. Does a nice job throwing his shoulder in there, but he got up limping a little bit. at the end of the play.
Well, let's check in quickly with Tracy Wolfson.
If Chris Leak is injured, he's not letting on. He was having his right leg stretched, but no trainers attended to him. We'll certainly keep an eye on it, though.
Okay, Trace, it appears he's got his helmet on, ready to come back in. First interception in his of this season. Cornelius and McCollum. It'll be Cornelius again from the goal line. Third kickoff return already, and he's hauled down.
There's a called him down. The ball came out. Florida very careless with the football right now.
Tackled by Jeffrey Dukes.
Jeffrey Dukes, nickelback. Dan Mullen on your left, the offensive coordinator. Alabama's defense. You've seen them. You haven't been introduced to them. Anderson, Clark, Griffin, and Gilberry. The linebackers, Simpson, Roach, and Ryans, and a secondary, one of the best in the country. Madison, Harper, Pepra, and Robinson. Matter of fact, Urban Meyer said this is the best back seven he's seen. This is Joe Kynes, defensive coordinator at Alabama. He had a stint at the University of Florida back in the early 90s. And the handoff out to the 25. Let's go back to the studio for a game-changing performance powered by Pontiac. Here's Tim Brando.
2nd and 7.
And Tim Brando, you couldn't have said anything that would have given Tracy Wolfson a bigger smile than she has right now. The Michigan alum. Deshaun Wynn. Not much there. Early first quarter, sellout crowd, 80,000 plus. You can see the construction cranes in the background. They're renovating the stadium, adding 10,000 seats, and an electrifying start for this Alabama team. They muffed a punt, lost a fumble at midfield, held Florida. Then on their first offensive play after a fine defensive stand, 87-yard touchdown, Croyle to pro throw. That was followed by an interception of Chris Leak's pass, a first and goal that led to a 1-yard touchdown plunge. It's 14-0. Leak, left side, incomplete. Anthony Madison was covering Chad Jackson.
And 0 for 3 so far for Florida on third down. And credit this Alabama defense for pressure and confusion. Chris Leak does not look comfortable yet reading the defense and making the throws. When he knows what the defense is and where he wants to go, he very rarely makes a bad throw. He has not found that groove yet today.
Eric Wilbur on to punt. Tyrone Prothro. Good and bad so far in this game. He bobbled the first punt of the day, and this was shanked off the right side. It
hit a Gator.
Is kicked by the Gators. Now that was kicked up near the 39-yard line. The ball for the moment spotted. Now they're going to bring it back up. Timeout. Alabama has the ball. Tomorrow on CBS. First down, Croyle back to throw for the second time, flips out perfectly. Ken Darby out of the backfield, nice touch on that pass. Gain of 17. And time now midway through the first to introduce you officially to the Alabama offense. You've seen Brody Croyle up front, Chris Capps, Antoine Caldwell, J.B. Klausner, who is Croyle's roommate, B.J. Sibler, Darby, McLean, Prothro, Brown, and Walker are up front at the skill positions. 106-7, but 87 of those came on one play. Here's Darby, darts right, makes a man miss, makes another man miss, breaks through a tackle.
I think this guy is the most underrated player in the Southeastern Conference. Kenneth Darby, averaging 103 yards a game rushing. He has a great ability to make people miss. Watch him get behind his offensive line, following in there, and then just when he sees a crease, great vision and great ability to plant his foot and cut and make people miss.
Split time with Ray Hudson early last year. Then when Hudson went out, he became the lead back. He wound up with over 1,000 yards, but had sports hernia surgery in the offseason. He's off to a terrific start. First down and 10. Pro throw in motion. Here's the deep handoff to Darby. He comes left, and Marcus Thomas is up on top to make the tackle.
Darby near the 10.
And the Gator defense, which has been shredded so far, Joe Cohen in place of McDonald, Marcus Thomas, Harris, and Mincy. The linebackers are Todd McCullough, Brandon Seiler, and Earl Everett. 2 interceptions last week. And in the secondary, Webb, Jackson Herring, Vernell Brown, the young man who was defeated on that first play. Co-defensive coordinators on the far left, Charlie Strong. On the right, in the middle of the screen, is Greg Madison, who was the defensive line coach and coordinator at Notre Dame before coming down to Florida. Here's Croyle handing it off. Left side, there's another missed tackle. It's Darby at the 5.
Yeah, this is a guy that I'm telling you, I've not seen many runners with the ability to make people miss in small spaces.
5 yards on the play.
Nice block by the fullback McLean, but then he has the ability to plant his foot and cut sideways so quickly. I played with a guy at Penn State, Kurt Warner, that I thought was the best I'd ever seen at doing that. This guy reminds me so much of him, the way he can cut and go sideways without losing speed.
3rd and 3 at the 5. Up by 14. That's McLean, number 33. Here's Croyle into the corner. Contact. Uncatchable.
That's a good call. I mean, they went to a taller receiver going against Vernell Brown, who was beat for the touchdown, but it was an uncatchable pass intended for Keith Brown, who's 6'3".
And that will bring on the field goal unit. Ben Wagers, the referee, saying uncatchable.
And that is a big stop for the Florida defense. They're just trying to catch their breath. I mean, Alabama's only run about a half a dozen offensive plays, and they're already down 14-0.
Christensen is 5 of 7 for the year. Won the kicking battle in a showdown with Ryan Saxby. Matt Miller is the holder, 3rd-generation football player for this team, and the kick is good.
The kicker, Jamie Christensen. The kick is good.
5:52 still remaining. Opening stanza. Alabama choir is the one that's standing and singing. Six plays, 50 yards. Ken Darby, the star of that possession. And Christensen will kick off for the 4th time in the ball game. This one taken at the goal line by Jamil Cornelius. And for the first time, he comes right, and he is cut down at the 28-yard line. There's Jeffrey Dukes down at the bottom again. Let's check in with Tracy Wolfson.
Thanks, guys. Florida left guard Tavares Washington, who was out last week with an elbow injury, is now out with a left shoulder injury. They tried to work on him on the sideline, but he was in too much pain. They have brought him into the Alabama locker room for further evaluation.
Well, the good news for Florida is that Jim Tart, who started in his place last week as a redshirt freshman, played very well. Steve Rissler now in place of Washington at the left guard.
Chris Leak has yet to complete a pass. 0 for 5. He did have one intercepted. Leak still has it. And he is hauled down up around the shoulder pads at the 35-yard line by Jawan Simpson, number 42. That's a gain of 7.
Yeah, good positive gain, good read on the option by Chris Leak, and he just needs to settle down. I mean, his team is going to feed off of him, even though he's off to a bad start. You know, there's a lot of time left, and they've got a lot of explosive offensive weapons on this team. They've got to slow down a little bit, change field position, let their defense get regrouped, and get the ball in the hands of some of their playmakers.
Second down. Billy Lasco is in at the blocking back spot. Here's the handoff left side, and a good job of pursuing defensively, led by Jeremy Clark. Well, just to not underestimate what you said. I would never do that, to underline what you said. We saw Monday night an LSU team jump up 21-0, and I believe Tennessee won it 30-27.
Yeah, and I'm sure every one of these players on the field today saw that game as well. I mean, that's why you hear coaches say you got to play for 60 minutes. When you see it actually happen, it really kind of sends the message home a little bit more emphatically.
Third down. Leak, so brilliant the last two games, has yet to complete a third down pass in this one. There it is. But it's short of the first down because of fine defensive work by Simeon Castile and Jawan Simpson.
Simeon Castile, a youngster, a sophomore out of Birmingham. Dad Jeremiah was a great defensive back here at Alabama.
It's fourth down, and here comes a punting unit. I was about to become astounded. I thought,
got a punt.
They're not going to go for this, are they? They will not.
And they've got to get field position changed here. I would imagine they'll kick it away from throw, probably to the left side, and try to go down and cover it inside the 20.
Eric Wilbur has been ineffective. It's a fake. There's Earl Everett on the end around the linebacker, and boy, did they catch him. Wow. Earl Everett.
What a gutsy call by Urban Meyer. His team needs a boost. They need something positive to happen. What a call.
Earl Everett, the starting linebacker, on the reverse. He had 2 interceptions last week against Kentucky. That's nothing compared to this.
Wow. Here is Everett right here. He's going to come around on the reverse.
First down, Florida at the Alabama.
Well conceived, well designed. They caught Alabama totally unaware, and Everett shows his speed and ability to get to the outside. And when a team needed a much-needed boost, they got it from the special teams. And now Chris Leak has good field position to work with.
Simeon Castile was injured at the end of it. He limps off. He is getting off the field on his own. But Florida, with the end around, the reverse on the fake punt, has a first down.
And Castile is a very important cog in this defense because they basically play with 3 starting corners most of the time.
1st and 10. Here's Leak. Gets some pressure from Anderson deep in the corner. Man coverage, and it's incomplete. Anthony Madison was a terrific job of coverage.
Excellent coverage on Kenneth Tukes was the intended receiver. Mark Anderson is really getting off the ball to rush the passer too. They are having some problems with him. But Anthony Madison, excellent position on that coverage. These 2 corners, Anthony Madison's 5'9", Ramsey Robinson 5'10". Taller receivers for Florida, but great position that time.
2nd and 10. Option. Pitch right. Chad Jackson. Nothing.
Excellent play by Charlie Pepper. I mean, when you defend option, you've got to account for all 3 phases: the dive, the quarterback, and the pitch. And that's exactly what they do. Watch as this play goes. The end is going to take care of the drive. That's gone. Now the quarterback's gone. And now as it comes out to the outside, who's got the pitch? It's Charlie Pepper. He fights off the block. And that is excellent discipline by the Alabama defense on the option.
Charlie Pepper, one of 9 fifth-year seniors on this ball club. Played high school ball in Plano, Texas. Was recruited initially for TCU by Dennis Franchone. Here's Leak. He's got room. And he's going to be very close for the first down at the 22-yard line as Jeffrey Dukes, number 3, catches up with him.
You know, Chris Leak does not look 100% healthy. He doesn't look as quick running the ball. I think he did do something on that interception, but he is showing some guts in running the option, and this time scrambling when nothing was there and getting very close to the first down. A good quick reaction by him, but he just doesn't look as quick as he normally looks when he runs the football. But that's one of those deals where Coach Meyer's going to say, Chris, if you can walk, you're playing. I'm not putting a true freshman in the ball game right now.
Got it. Now the backup is Josh Portis, number 4 out of Woodland Hills, California, and he's really shown a proclivity for dropping the football. He's a great talent.
Yes, he is.
Great talent. Here's Leak, 1st and 10. Urban Meyer, Dan Mullen, the offensive coordinator, to his left, 33 years of age. Meyer himself, young man at 41. Then so is Mike Shula, the Alabama coach, at 40. 1st and 10.
The Alabama, 3 defensive linemen, but all those linebackers up close to the ball, not showing their hand until the ball snapped.
And they bring 3 essentially. There's the toss to Jackson.
Great
and he
block.
weaves his way. Yes, indeed.
Great block by Kenneth Tukes. So if you want to run the option, and if you want to make a play on the perimeter, you've got to have wide receivers that block on the outside. Kenneth Tukes, who is getting a lot more playing time now because of the injury to Andre Caldwell, is blocking here. Jackson gets the ball, but look at that block right there on D'Amico Ryan's outstanding block. That gets Jackson to the outside. If you don't have wide receivers that want to block, you can't be very good on the option.
1st and goal at the 9.
This is a gut check drive right here by Florida.
This is Tate Casey in motion. They give it to Deshaun Wynn, and he moves inside the 5 near the 4-yard line. The tackle made by Jawan Simpson.
And you can just tell with that call of the fake punt by Urban Meyer, this whole emotion for Florida has changed. I mean, there's a new bounce in their step. After they got that play and didn't have to punt the ball and come off the field again, they've got a new sense of energy and a new sense of confidence back. It was a great call, and they put together an outstanding drive to follow it.
Jackson out. Latsko is in at the fullback spot. That's him, number 42. Here's the toss. Latsko leads. But a fine job defensively by Ramsey Robinson, number 1. And then Jeremy Clark was down at the bottom of things.
And the first guy in there was Charlie Peppera, who got into the backfield and took the block out from Latsko and forced the play back inside. One of the things I think that makes this Alabama defense so good for Joe Kynes is they have so many experienced guys. I mean, they've got guys who have played, they have 5 guys who have played every game of their career, all 42 games. Guys who have started 30, 31 games in a row. They know exactly what they're doing on every snap.
3rd and goal. 4 wides. Win alongside Leak. This is Jamel Cornelius. He's the option man. They pitch it to Jackson coming near side. And Jackson is caught the 1. It'll be 4th down. Now then, Todd, field goal. You got to get something.
Yeah, you got to get something. That's for sure. You definitely need to get something. They're going to go for it, it looks like.
3 yards on the play.
During his days at Utah, they were 12-0 last year, and at Florida.
I think Urban Myers is saying right now, we still know our defense is good. Even though we've given up 17 points, we still believe in our defense. Let's go for the touchdown. Even if we don't make it here, they've got the ball on the 1.
That is the end of 1 with a score 17-0. Alabama will return to Tuscaloosa after this message and a word from your local. Back for the start of the 2nd quarter. Alabama roared out to a 17-0 lead. Florida came back now, helped in no small measure by a 32-yard run on a fake punt. They now face 4th and goal.
And I don't disagree with this call. You went for the fake punt. You've had a great drive. You need to pay it off with a touchdown.
Billy Latsko in motion. Deshaun Wynn follows Latsko, and he did not get it. Goal line stand, Alabama.
Urban Meyer thought his offensive line made great strides last week. They had a great practice on Tuesday this week, but they didn't win this battle. Watch the Alabama defensive line get underneath. They stopped the movement, and then the linebackers came in. Freddie Roach, D'Amico Ryan's in there to finish off Wynn before he could get that ball across the plane.
On the Alabama bench, Mike Shula, the head coach, maintained his complacent nature, but the bench got a little excited. And now, here's your point, though. They're 99 yards away.
Right. And you've got the #1 ranked defense in the SEC, so lean on them a little bit here.
And off left side, just did get back to the line of scrimmage. Tim Castile, number 19. Well, Urban Meyer wants to talk to his offensive line as they come off the field after that That's Steve Rissler.
And see, he's saying you can't let them get under you. You've got to go low and drive them back into the end zone. You can't let those linebackers fly over the top.
2nd and 10 at the 1. Darby back in. Castile is out. Time of possession. Isn't that amazing? 11-27. Both of these teams dominating time of possession over the course of the first 4 games. Here's Coyle. Comes roll, misconnect. Oh, no!
Did he get it?
Prothrow, did he get it or
They're
no?
calling it a catch.
They sure are.
It was a wonderful effort, and I thought it was a catch. Brody Coyle going to a no huddle here.
Here's the last play, Tyrone Prothrow.
Boy.
Yeah, he put the ball down.
Brody Coyle's going to no huddle, so they won't have time to review it. But now with 3rd and short, I think Mike Shula wants them to huddle and make sure they are going to take a look, I believe.
Well, the point being made here, I talked to Bobby Gaston, the director of officials in the SEC. They review every play.
Yes, they do.
And in this case, a decision has been made that it's worthy of the time to stop it and take another look at it. Replay official is Joe Delaney.
The ball came out as soon as he hit the ground. He was airborne, he had the ball, and as soon as he hit the ground, the ball came out. It was ruled a catch on the field, and it has to be indisputable evidence to change the call. I think they're probably going to stay with a catch.
You know, but from this angle, it almost looks as if he placed the ball out. Look at that.
Yeah.
He put the ball down.
That's a great shot right there. And that's slow motion, which obviously the referees don't have the luxury of seeing. They do right now.
I think
he had his left arm under the ball and reached it out. You're exactly right.
He was so sure that he had made the catch that he placed the ball down.
Yep, you're exactly right. Instead of being 2nd and 10, it's going to be 3rd and 1, a much better situation for Alabama.
Tyrone Prothrow. Chad Jackson, wide receiver for Florida, left.
The play stands. It's called on the field. 3rd down.
3rd down. Chad Jackson left Hoover, Alabama, as a suburb of Birmingham to go play, and he's one of the stars at the University of Florida, having a breakout season. He and Tyrone Prothrow played together in an all-star game here, and there's an issue of speed. They had a match race, and we talked to Prothrow about it yesterday. Said, who won? He said, well, actually, I asked him how fast he was. He said he was 4.3. He asked me, I said, I'm 4.4. He said, well, did you race? He said, yeah, they talked us into it. Who won? He said, well, actually, he pulled up a little lame. I said, well, who won? He said, well, I did.
Yeah, he said, I kind of did. You can't kind of. You either did or you didn't.
Play fake. Coyle. Got it. And survives a pop. LaRon McClain did a fine job to hold on to the ball.
Yeah, and this was a well-designed play. 3rd and short. They had the extra time because of the replay to make sure of the call. 3rd and 1, you're thinking a short throw, but they went out and up with the fullback, McClain. He went out in the flat. Kyle Jackson came over and gave him a big pop, but McClain held on to the football.
Gain of 21 and a 1st down. Now Darby and McClain in the eye. This is kind of an old-fashioned pro-style offense. Here's play fake. Coyle under some pressure. Sidearms it. Prothrow. A tip and a catch. Well, that's minor league compared to one of the catches he had earlier this year.
Well, and also Brody Coyle eluding the corner blitz, staying alive and making the throw, and then Prothrow with the acrobatic catch at the end. Tips it to himself and makes the catch, but it started with Brody Coyle eluding a free blitzer to make the throw.
Dave Rader said he would like to get 9 touches on offense and 4 touches in the kicking game for Tyrone Prothrow today.
He's got 4.
2nd down, draw play. Darby, look at that nifty move. Now he's got a blocker down. Look at that niftier move. Flag is down. It's going to come back.
Boy, but it shouldn't take anything away from the effort by Ken Darby. Again, he should be well rested. He hasn't had to run the ball much so far in the first half. But what an ability to make people miss.
yards from the spot of foul. Now remains second.
DJ Hall is the guilty man. Yankees win 8-4. And they assume a one-game lead with 1 game to go. Welcome those of you who've been watching the baseball game. 17-0 here. Florida at Alabama. And a goal line stand by this Alabama defense. They've stopped the Florida offense at the 1-yard line, have now moved the ball out to the 40. And they've got a 2nd down and short. And there is Jeremy Mincy making a tackle, but it appears to be enough for the first down. You know, I had to smile when I saw the final score. Our senior vice president of programming, Mike Oresco, is here in the press box today, visiting the Southeast Conference as a guest of Mike's Live. They had an earlier score announced in the press box. Yankees leading 7-2. Mike Oresco reached to the guy standing side by side, Jeremy Foley, the athletic director at Florida, and gave him a big hug. And Foley looked at Mike and said, "What are you doing? I'm a Red Sox fan."
We have a few battles down in the truck too, don't we?
Yeah, we do. Pro throws in at quarterback. We thought this might happen. Tyrone Prothro, number 4, the man under center, hands it off on 1st down. Well, there's another touch.
Ken Darby tackled by Marcus
17 zip here. Let's find out what's going on elsewhere. Here's Tim Brendo.
Loss of about a yard on the play.
I can imagine, Tim. 2nd down. Croyle's back in now. Under some pressure, sacked.
Yeah, Brandon Seiler got in there on a blitz. And a much-needed big play by the Florida defense. They let him out of the end zone after they had him back inside the 1. They let him get out to about midfield, but Brandon Seiler with a big sack.
Charlie Strong, co-defensive coordinator. He's the only one on this Florida staff that has ever played here or visited here, coached here. He said that goes back to the early 90s.
Sideline warning in Alabama.
Well, Mike's got to get the get-back coach.
Yeah, the get-back coach.
Yeah, got to get him fired up. Not sure who the get-back coach is. Right now it looks like Coach Shula is the get-back coach.
But it's always a mystery. And every team has one, right?
Sure they do.
Okay. You have any?
Well, it's, you know, it's usually a GA or somebody that you don't listen to anyway. It's
sole responsibility during the Saturday afternoon encounters is get back. 3rd down. Flags.
The only guy lower than that on the sideline is the get the tee guy. You know, the guy that runs out to get the tee after the guy kicks off.
Prior to the snap, right side of the line move prior to the ball being snapped. 5-yard penalty. Down remains 3rd.
Well, I just want to dazzle you with the depth of my research. The get-back coach for Alabama is one of their strength assistants, Jesper Sjökvist.
Really?
Yeah. I wouldn't lie to you.
That's outstanding.
Yeah.
That's outstanding work.
Jesper. No relation to Parnevik, but from the same general area of Sweden. 3rd and a mile. Croyle sets it up. It's not a screen. It's just a dump off to Castile, and the punting unit will now be coming on.
And a big stop for Florida. I mean, they got a little demoralized when they didn't keep them pinned down inside their own territory, but they stiffened, had the help of a couple penalties, were able to stop them, and they should get the ball back in decent field position here.
Vernell Brown will head back to await the punt now. Jeremy Schatz. Schatz had one of 72 yards in the Arkansas win last week, a 24-13 victory. Wind aided, we might add. Now this one sends Brown back to the 16-yard line, but certainly returnable. And Brown trying to get around the corner, does. fine open field tackle. The crowd at that end thought there was an illegal block in the back.
I'll tell you what, D'Amico Ryans, whether he's on defense or special teams, is one of the best pure tacklers that I've seen. I mean, he does not miss many tackles, and he makes himself known very quickly.
He had 15 tackles last week. Adds another times call.
Here in Alabama, I'm here with former Miami Dolphins head coach Don Shula, and also known as Dad. You're getting pretty nervous out here. Is it hard to watch your son out there?
Listen, there's nothing I can do. Just hope and pray that things go well. But what a great first quarter. You know, they did a good job on defense, and then Brody with the touchdown pass. But I was really impressed with Prothro. He dropped the first punt, caught the second one, then caught the long touchdown pass.
Once a coach, always a coach. Let's just watch this play, guys.
All right, Tracy, it's great to see Don Shula here.
Looks good in that crimson shirt, too.
Doesn't he, though? First down and 10. Chris Leak, only 1 for 7 for 1 yard and an interception. And again, the three-man line, they bring only 3. Leak goes deep, got a man wide open. That's Dallas Baker, still running inside the 25-yard line. And let's go back quickly to Tracy with Don Shula.
Coach, the question everyone wants to know, how much do you help my coach?
Well, I hope I helped him a lot when he was growing up. And now I talk to him maybe once a week, but he's his own man. He knows what he wants to get done. He's got a great group of assistant coaches, and he's brought this team along. They're ready to go.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Trace. 43-yard gain, that pass to Dallas Baker. It's 17-0, 8:29 to go, first half. Here's Leak. Goes deep, that one could be intercepted.
Wow,
No,
there was some
incomplete.
confusion there. The play before that Chris Leak hit Dallas Baker on, he knew exactly where he wanted to go with the football and was right on target with it. That time, looked like there was a mix-up in his communication with his receiver, and he threw it in the middle of 3 Alabama jerseys. Cornelius trying to get there, a little contact with Roman Harper, but Chris Leak threw that one into a crowd.
Baker and Jackson break wide to the right side. Cornelius comes near side, and Leak goes up to check with Steve Rissler, his left guard, Jim Tart, his right guard, Mike DeGore, his center. Timeout. CBS Sports coverage of the Home Depot SEC on CBS will continue after this word from your local station. All right, Tim, thank you. And during the timeout, Urban Meyer makes a change at quarterback. The freshman, Josh Portis. He's a real threat to run it. And here he goes. Right side, cut down at the 20-yard line by Roman Harper, number 41. And now here is Leak after the one play. Josh Portis had a 29-yard rumble in last week's game and resulted in the first goal. He fumbled out of bounds and came off with his head real low, and Urban Meyer got in his face.
Yeah, made him go back out towards where the huddle was and jog back off the field with his head up like he wants all the players to do.
Leak back, 3rd and 7.
4-man down line this time.
Leak tipped, incomplete.
See, this job by the Alabama defense has been outstanding in the first half because Chris Leak, with the exception of that first throw in this drive to Dallas Baker, has not looked comfortable. That time, he didn't get a clean read. He threw off his back foot. He felt pressure, and he didn't make an accurate throw. When he knows what he wants to do, he is very accurate. He has not been accurate today because Alabama has confused him with their defense.
And on 4th down, Chris Hetland is on to attempt a 37-yard field goal. He's perfect so far this year. This to get Florida on the board. Looks good. And is. So the 43-yard pass from Chris Leak to Dallas Baker results in a field goal. 7:32 to go. First half. Bama by 14. Florida did get on the boards with that 37-yard Hetland field goal. Now Eric Wilbur will kick off, and Tyrone Prothro is the deep man. This will be a squib kick and will go out of bounds.
There's a flag on
and come out to the 30-yard line. Well, Vern Lundquist along with Todd Blackledge, Tracy Wolfson, impressions so far.
Well, Alabama defensively has been outstanding. I think what they've done is they've been able to stuff the run and make Florida one-dimensional, and then they've confused Chris Leak on third down in passing situations. He's been brilliant on third down the last 2 weeks. He's struggled today throwing the football. Offensively, they've done a better job of having balance. Ken Darby's been a factor. Tyrone Prothrow's been a factor. Brody Croyle hasn't had to do too much, but he's moved the team when he's needed to.
And he did throw an 87-yard pass on the first play of the game. LeRon McClain is in now, along with Brody Croyle. First down, 17-3. Beautiful, nifty pass.
See ya.
Keith Brown, great speed, touchdown Brown. Just like that.
Brody must have heard me say he didn't have to do too much so far.
He's thrown for 87 in the score, 65 in the score. Christensen's extra point is up and good.
Because Alabama uses a tight end and a fullback so much, it brings all kind of defenders in around the football. That leaves a lot of open space for wide receivers. When you take a look at this, look at all those defenders in here. That's one-on-one out here, and the safety not able to get there to help. It's a quick slant. You got solid pass protection. And once he caught it, he showed that speed and did the right thing. Went right up through the middle of the defense. All the way to the end zone.
Didn't have a catch last week against Arkansas. Got a big one here. Brody Croyle could sail out of this stadium. Brody Croyle told us yesterday he knew this was a special week when he pulled his truck up to a stoplight and Alabama fans with those shakers came up and rattled them at the window until he said hello. And then he rolled down the window and they said, "Roll Tide."
And he also said it wasn't even the truck that he normally drives. He was incognito and still got found out.
Has breakfast with his dad, John, every Friday at a local restaurant. Does the Sunrise Sampler, I believe, is what he orders. And when he and his dad walked in, the group of patrons immediately sang the Alabama fight song. It's been a kind of a different week. This kick short. And a fair catch taken. Let's go back and look at this record-tying touchdown pass, Brody Croyle.
Well, when we asked Croyle about the man coverage, he said our receivers are fired up to try to beat man coverage. Tyrone Prothrow did it the first play. Keith Brown took a short pass against man coverage and turned it into a long touchdown. And Brody Croyle is having an outstanding afternoon.
Despite an injury-plagued career, that's his 35th touchdown pass. It ties him with his head coach, Mike Shula, and with Andrew Zhao, the fine quarterback at the end of last century who ran the opening football out today.
That's right. And was the quarterback back in '99 when Alabama beat Florida both in the regular season and in the SEC championship game.
1st and 10.
Wow, listen to this place now.
That sound reverberating through the helmet of Chris Leak because the majority of the noisemakers encircle him. Up the middle it goes to Skylar Thornton, number 25. Expected to. Well, let's check in with Tracy Wolfson on the Alabama sideline.
Guys, you should see the scene on this sideline, how loose, how confident these players are. They were just playing some hip-hop over the PA, and the whole team was dancing to it, slapping high fives, pointing up to the crowd. These guys are playing with a lot of confidence right now.
Well, there was a similar scene in LSU on Monday night.
I was going to just remind you, you brought it up earlier, and that difference was 21 points down in Baton Rouge on Monday night.
Deshaun Wynn back with Chris Leak. Wynn gets the handoff and nothing more. He's out to the 21. It'll be 3rd down.
Justin Britt, a backup defensive tackle in there to stuff that play. Joe Kynes told us if we can't stop their inside run, the inside zone, if our tackles don't play well, we're going to have a long day because their whole offense revolves off of them being able to run the zone. And they have not been able to do it.
3rd and 5. Alabama fighting history here. Brody Coyle said when a student told him that Tuesday at lunch, he was shocked. 0 for 5. Quarterback draw. Leak pulls up. This one's going to come back. And it's incomplete at any rate. Intended for Dallas Baker.
See, part of the deal for Alabama, because they have shut down Florida's running game, they have been able to really pin their ears back and go after the quarterback. Chris Leak had to step up right away because of pressure. Dallas Baker, who made a big catch in the last drive, just a little bit too far for him on that one, but it wouldn't have counted anyway. Alabama will decline this penalty and force a 4th down punt.
Holding 63 on the offense. That penalty declined. 4th down.
Now, people have asked all week long if this is a signature game for Mike Shula. His record is 14 and 15. He came in with this program in disarray. Dennis Franchione had abandoned the kids he had recruited and gone to Texas A&M. Mike Price resigned because of a scandal. Shula came into his alma mater. He's 14 and 15. This would even his record. Oh my goodness. Here comes Prothro. There he goes. There's a flag. This is going to come back.
This is going to come back for a penalty that had nothing to do with the return. It was out of the play.
So this eruption of noise will become a chorus of boos when the realization hits that there's a flag back at the 40-yard line. The dreaded illegal block in the back. Yeah. It wipes out a 64-yard touchdown.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Number 13 on the return team. What's that?
We don't even have number 13 listed on the depth chart here, but Anthony Madison had one. It was on Billy Latsko. No, there it is. Right there's the illegal block. Number 13. Whoever that might be.
He's a ghost. He is a ghost. It's Reamer. You knew that.
Yeah.
Which is... Nah, don't go there. 1st down and 10.
Nonetheless, an electrifying return by Tyrone Prothro.
It's Corey Reamer. The depth of my research got us the get back coach.
Yeah.
But didn't get us a guy who was unlisted on the roster. Brandon Seiler. Well, 0-5 played their biggest games at Legion Field in Birmingham.
They played Tennessee there, played Auburn there up until recently.
2nd down and 10. Play fake, Coyle. Flag. This one's coming back as well as Coyle told us yesterday he's not mental about the knee.
Yeah.
Had knee surgery, ACL. It's the 2nd in his life. He's had both knees operated on, one as a senior in high school and then last year. But he doesn't think about it.
Right. Well, and he said that when he went back and saw the film of the South Carolina game, he scored a touchdown and he made a plant with his right foot and a hard cut left. And he said, you know what, the knee looks great. It felt fine. I'm not thinking about it. But what he is thinking about is he's being a little smarter with the ball. And in that case, you saw him run and then kind of slide at the end. He's thrown more balls away. He's not trying to be a hero every play, because the key to Alabama being successful this year is number 12 staying healthy. No question about it.
He missed 2 in 2003. Last year injured in the Western Carolina game and missed 9 games. 3rd and 10. Here comes the blitz from the corner. Coyle moving right. Fires it. Oh, dangerous. Incomplete. The catch made, but out of bounds. 24-3 here. Let's find out what else is going on. Back in New York, here's Tim.
Jeremy Schatz in punt formation for Alabama. Pernell Brown.
All right, Tim, thank you. Now you got Blackledge smiling, you got Wolfson smiling. Their alma maters winning or have won. I can't wait for the next time we go back and you have the Texas Lutheran University score. This one down at the 34. 36-yard punt, nothing on the return.
There's a big opportunity for Chris Leak here. 4 minutes left in the first half. You've been dominated, but a score here can give you some momentum to go into the locker room with.
Leak lobs it, caught. Chad Jackson. That's a first down and fine play on first down and 10.
Excellent play. It started with good protection and no panic by Chris Leak. He dumped it off to an outlet receiver, and they're out around midfield.
Jackson, 2 for 15 yards. He has had a marvelous season so far this year. 2 games in excess of 100 yards in receptions. First and 10. 24-3. Oh, boy, does Leak go down, and guess who?
You know what? I don't think this play counted. I'm not sure what it looked like. They're marking it down as a sack, and they're calling it a sack, but half the Florida team didn't move, and nobody other than D'Amico Ryans moved on the Alabama defense. Here's D'Amico Ryans, and watch, he's going to be one of the only guys that goes full speed. Everybody else stops. He knocks Chris Leak down, and Penn Wager says, hey, that was a legitimate play. It's second and long.
Loss of 10, second down and 20. First sack today. Here's Leak pulling up. Jackson bounces off the tackle and hangs on. Roman Harper popped him.
Jim Tart is down. The left guard. They've already lost Tavares Washington for the game. This is another offensive guard who's down. Chad Jackson shows some strength, takes a big hit from Roman Harper, but stays on his feet.
Now the next man on the depth chart listed is Ronnie Wilson, a freshman from Pompano Beach, Florida. And this is Tart.
Boy, I'm still thinking about that first down play. They had a good first down play. They were out around midfield, and a strange sack that really set them behind here. Now they're third down and 11. And down to their third string guard as well. Take a look here. Just a collision among players, and there he is down right there, Jim Tart. He's a redshirt freshman out of Sopchoppy, Florida.
Never been there.
He started last week when Washington was out and played very well, and that's a good sign, seeing him getting up on his own power.
Sure is. Sopchoppy.
Yeah. Waukila High School. Sopchoppy, Florida.
What's the team name?
I don't know.
I mean, like the Sopchoppy Sailors, or you don't know?
No, that's the town. Waukila is the school.
Third and 11. Leak overthrows Dallas Baker. Good coverage from Ramsey Robinson, number 1, and it'll be fourth down.
And Chris Leak 0 for 6 on third down passing today. That is where he had been so strong, and it's all because he's not comfortable. There's just a lack of comfort right now for Chris Leak and the receivers because of the different looks and the pressure that Alabama has been able to generate. They are really good on third down defense.
That's going to bring on Eric Wilbur. Joe Kynes, the defensive coordinator. My, how this Alabama defense has improved in the last 3 years with this group. They were woeful in that first year, and Joe Kynes was on the hot seat, and now he doesn't have to make a dinner reservation in Tuscaloosa. He walks in, it's comped. And a first down comes now with 2:37 to go. Brody Croyle, 2 touchdown passes in excess of 60 yards today. The 87-yarder came on Alabama's first offensive play. He is 8 of 10 for 219 yards. There's a reverse to Tyrone Prothro. Gets by Jeremy Mincy. and moves out. I think it's Jarvis Herring who finally caught up with him.
I just think this has been, Alabama has done a great job offensively of keeping Florida off balance. There's been passes. They've gotten Prothro involved. They've gotten Kenneth Darby involved. I mean, they have done an excellent job of keeping that Florida defense on their heels a little bit. Unlike the Alabama defense, which has been able to play downhill for the most part of the first half. And
Prothro also had a 64-yard punt return for a TD, wiped out. Gain of 6 last play, 2nd down and 4, 2.5 to go first quarter. Ezekiel Knight is in there, and up the middle this one goes out to the 29-yard line. That'll set up a 3rd and short. Kenneth Darby into the hands of Jeremy Mincy. Southern Miss defeated them in Bear Bryant's last game as a coach in this stadium. That's the answer to the Aflac trivia question. Tim Castile gets the first down. Momentary stoppage of the clock while they reset the chain.
Boy, that's a tough first down, too. 3rd down and 2. Mike Shula says, hey, we're not going to throw it. We want to be smart. If we get the first down and don't have to punt, we can go in with a 21-point lead. And they bring the big fullback in, Castile. Short yardage offense, and he drives forward for the easy first down.
Dave Rader was talking with us, the offensive coordinator, about power football. He said, I'm not sure if it's the Alabama mystique, it's Mike Shula's philosophy, but power football is certainly who we are. There's the catch is made at the 49-yard line. Number 4, Tyrone Prothro.
Well, it's a part of who they are, because if they run with power, then that sets up their play action, and where they get their big plays in the passing game is off play action like this. They go bootleg, one-on-one coverage outside, and Croyle puts the ball in the perfect spot, low and outside away from D. Webb, and Prothro makes the catch.
1st and 10. The clock now running again with 1:14 to go before the break. Prothro 4 catches for 119 yards. Had the big one of 87 yards. Here comes the blitz. Croyle sets up to go deep left side.
There's a penalty.
Keith Brown.
Yep, he grabbed him.
There it comes. It took a while.
Well, he wanted to make sure it was a catchable pass, I think, for one, but he definitely grabbed him. Vernell Brown reached out and grabbed him as he was getting beat. They went maximum protection to make sure Brody Croyle wasn't going to have pressure, and they took a shot down the field.
Defensive holding. And it will be against Vernell Brown.
And right now, Mike Shula can say, hey, we can be aggressive.
Holding. Number 16 on the defense. Penalty 10 yards from the previous spot. First down.
So that'll be a first down with 56. Well, Prothro had a catch for the ages earlier against Southern Miss.
Yeah, I mean, this one is going to win all kind of highlight reel awards at the end of the year. Never lost the football. Never took his hands off the ball. It wasn't a touchdown, but it gave him the ball right on the 1, and that keyed their comeback because they were down in that ball game 21-10, and Alabama came back and won handily in the 4th quarter.
Here's Croyle. Throws it out, caught by LaRon McClain.
Well, ripped the ball out. Yep. Florida's got it.
Ball is loose.
How many
Brandon
times
Seiler's got it.
See a guy fighting for extra yardage, and defenders come around and rip the football out? And Mike Shula saying, hey, look, get what you can get and get down. You know, we're working against the clock. Get down. Everett rips the football out, and his linebacker mate, Brandon Seiler, comes up with the football. A huge defensive play by Florida.
Florida gets it 60 yards away, 2 timeouts remaining. 2nd Alabama turnover. This one a fumble by LaRon McClain. Leak sends 3 wide right, 2 to the left. 3 men down defensively. Leak across the middle. Freddie Roach. 39 seconds to go. It was Roach who made the tackle. They have 2 timeouts left.
Yep. And that play, I mean, that's a wasted play right there. I mean, you throw it over the middle for a couple-yard gain. You want time more than a couple yards right now.
Leak back, clock running. Almost picked off by Juwan Simpson. There's a flag down as well.
Juwan Simpson in coverage. There's a flag on the play.
Well, we saw Chris Leak last week Start the first half 21 of 26 for nearly 300 yards and 4 touchdowns against Kentucky. He looks completely different today against this Alabama defense. And it's more a credit to them than it is a negative about him.
Disregard the flag.
18 seconds to go. Florida is 1 of 9 on third downs.
And Chris Leak only 5 of 15 throwing the football.
Into the right side. Catch is made by Jamel Cornelius, and another flag is down. That one also on the near side of the field.
Right now Alabama rushing 3, playing soft zone, letting him have those underneath throws. They just don't want to give up an easy one or a big play that would lead to a score here before halftime.
Okay. Illegal motion on 81 and 84 on the offense. Both were moving without getting set. Penalty 5 yards.
Move the chain back inside the 40-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd and 12.
After the penalty,
Alabama has just knocked these guys around in the first half. I mean, they've knocked these offensive linemen around. They've knocked the receivers around when they catch the ball. They've hit the running backs. They have been the faster, more physical, more aggressive football team here in the first half, and deservedly have a 3-touchdown lead.
D'Amico Ryans has led the way for this Joe Hines defense. Now let's go down to Tracy Wolfson with a conversation with Coach Shula.
Thanks, guys. Coach, what happened in the first half, and how do you get it turned around?
Well, what didn't go, what went wrong? Everything went wrong. We're not playing well in all 3 phases, and I'm surprised our defense has given up chunks. Our offense has been struggling for a while. We just got to calm down, and if we score down here, it's a closer game. We just got to take care of the ball, come out in the second half, and fight like Gators.
Do you use what happened in the Tennessee-LSU game as motivation at half?
Sure. No, we're going to motivate ourselves. We just got to come out here and play the football the way we want to play.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Back to you guys.
That conversation with Urban Meyer, presented by Charles Schwab. To go 24-3. Alabama leads Florida. A moment ago, Tracy with Mike Shula.
Coach, are you surprised with what's transpired so far?
Well, our guys were pretty excited about this game, and we hit the big play early, and that's why you play games. We had the batted ball after our first touchdown. We get another great field position, and I'm just happy we capitalized on the big plays and made one more on the slant pass to Keith Brown. But we got another 30 minutes. They're a great football team. They got a lot of talent, so we got to play even better in the second half.
Thanks a lot. Good luck.
Thank you, Tracy. Alabama had won the toss and deferred the option, so they will get the football to open the 3rd quarter of play. Tyrone Prothro is the deep man. Nick Fleming, who did a fine job in kicking off last week in Kentucky. He kicked off 6 times and had 3 go for touchbacks. And he replaces Eric Wilbur for the 2nd week in a row with this chore, and that one will go into the hands of Prothro at the 6-yard line. His knee went down at the 20. He's still running. You can't. He refuses to believe that he was really down. He's an exciting player, as we have seen in a variety of poses today.
Well, he's got great balance and the ability to make people miss. Right knee on the ground, whistled down.
Well, we thought this was going to be a really competitive game. Are you shocked by what you've seen so far?
Well, I am a little bit shocked. And now, as Mike Shula said, they got the big play right out of the gate. Then they got the interception from Chris Leak. But the whole first half, Alabama was the faster team, and they were the more physical team. And that surprised me a little bit. I thought Florida would be a little more up for the challenge. We'll see what they do this second half.
Darby and Castile in the backfield. Here's Brody Coyle, forced to run, and he is down at the 22-yard line. Take a look at halftime stats presented by Home Depot. First downs, 9-5 edge for Alabama. The big edge is in passing yards, 235. Well, you've got an 87-yarder and a 65-yarder. You get some gaudy statistics. 3rd down conversions, Florida has really struggled.
Well, and Florida actually ran more plays than Alabama did that first half, but Alabama averaged 10 yards a play thanks to those big pass plays.
On second down, Darby weaving his way, showing that elusiveness that you had mentioned, and he picks up 9 and a first down.
9 yards on the play. First down, Alabama.
Alabama has done a nice job in this ball game of featuring their marquee players. Brody Croyle had an excellent first half, 10 of 12 throwing. Tyrone Prothro, a major factor. Kenneth Darby, a major factor.
McLean is in there now as the fullback, and Darby is the deep back on 1st and 10. Play fake. McLean has it. Avoids the first tackle, gets a block from DJ Hall, fights his way to midfield.
And you see him protecting the football that time. He was the one who had the ball ripped out right before the half. That time he got rid of it. They almost didn't get this play off with the play clock. A good quick snap by Brody Croyle, and McLean makes a guy miss. And watch him cover up the football at the end. Not coming out this time.
Jeremy Mincy, number 57, the man who popped him at the end. 1st and 10.
It's a 260-pound fullback out there in the flat. That's a tough guy to bring down for a free safety.
Croyle 11 of 13 for 255. Draw play. Darby scoots by the first man, still on his feet, down at the 18-yard line. Kyle Jackson, number 3, had the first shot, didn't get it.
Well, if you're a Florida fan, you had to be thinking it can't get any worse in the second half. It's being worse right now. I mean, Brody Croyle throwing passes, the run, and look at the block by J.B. Klausner, the center. Outstanding block. Antoine Caldwell, number 59, the left guard. They just gashed that Florida defense right up the middle with power football.
That's a gain of 32 for number 34, and the true freshman Glenn Coffey is in to give Darby a blow now, number 38. See if they go to him. They play fake to him. Croyle lobs it out and overthrows McLean. Oh, Brody Croyle. He'll think about that one tonight.
Well, he hadn't made many bad throws today. That one just took off on him. He tried to just kind of get it out to McLean quickly. They have not covered the fullback coming out of the backfield very well today. And he was open again that time.
Mentioned the block of J.B. Klausner. They've been roommates for 5 years. Croyle and Klausner, 2 of 9 fifth-year seniors on this team, whose mission this year, they have stated to us and anybody who would listen, is to reestablish Alabama's place in the college football world. This is Tim Castile, number 19. And Klausner, the big fella up front, recruited by Dennis Franchione, as so many of these kids were when he was a high school player at Clark High School in San Antonio.
3rd and 8.
3rd and 8. Darby back in.
Alabama was 3 of 6 on 3rd downs in that first half.
McLean will come to the near side. Nick Walker, the tight end, is tight to the right. Now that's McLean in motion. Good block by Darby. Croyle got a man. Touchdown, Alabama.
You mentioned the block by Darby. He picked up the outside blitz perfectly, and Brody Croyle was able to stay right in the pocket and make the throw. Wow, was that pretty.
Christensen on. 31-3. Number 4 has caught 5.
Going on the best cover guy, D. Webb. He got around him, and because the protection was so good, Brody had time to wait for him to get some separation. What a day for Brody Croyle and the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Well, it was loud at the beginning, and that noise has not subsided. Alabama 0-5 against top 5 teams, and Brody Coyle with that touchdown has now surpassed his coach and Andrew Zhao. He is the all-time leader in touchdowns thrown, and it's also his first 3-touchdown game in his career. He talked about the significance of this game this afternoon.
It's a chance for us to make a statement. It's a chance for us to, beat our first top 5 team at Bryant-Denny, and it's a chance for, us to kind of, build, our senior legacy and get Alabama back on top.
The thing too, Vern, is with a win here, if they hold on, Alabama's going to be in the top 10. They've got a week off next week. I mean, everything sets up right for them. They can give everything they've got in this game, rest up next week, and then make a strong push the rest of the season. But a win here today, significant in many, many ways for Alabama.
Christensen with the kickoff. Cornelius has it at the 3. And he is knocked down at the 15-yard line by Jimmy Johns. A freshman who was a quarterback is now a running back.
I'm going to go back to the touchdown, and I want to show you Kenneth Darby. This is what makes him special. He's not running it here, but watch him pick up the blitzing safety, Jarvis Herring. Because he picks up the blitz, Brody Coyle is able to wait for Tyrone Prothro to uncover. Look at that protection right there. Perfect. Now he can stay in there. He's got good vision, and when Prothro uncovers, he hits him with the touchdown.
Might have seen Jamel Cornelius limp off. He's not on the field. Here's Leak out of the backfield to Sean Wynn. Gets a good block from Lance Butler, and Wynn is all the way up to the 28-yard line. Well, this week's top 10 unfolds this way. USC trailing Arizona State, that should be. Texas defeated Missouri. Tech won. LSU leading Mississippi State. There's Florida at number 5. Georgia with a bye. State leading Ohio State with a bye. Tennessee winners. And Miami plays tonight. And currently Alabama is number 15. You're right. They go right into the top 10. Wynn at the 30. He's tackled. Roman Harper, number 41.
Plus, you have to remember that LSU being ranked number 4, their game was played Monday night, so the new poll hasn't not come out after the results of that game. They're actually going to play 2 games this week as they're winning in Mississippi State right now, but there's a chance they may drop out of the top 10 after that loss to Tennessee on Monday.
Second down. Chad Jackson goes right with Baker. Tate Casey comes near side. Alabama again with 3 down. They've got 6 on the line. They bring 4. Leak steps up, got a man open. It's Baker. Great catch. And a first down at the 45-yard line.
Well, we just have, Chris Leak's big-time throws today have been kind of few and far between, but both of the best ones have been to this guy on the same route. The post to the ex-receiver Baker. He reaches out and makes the catch on Charlie Peppra and Ramsey Robinson. That was an outstanding throw and catch.
Gain of 24, first down and 10 at the 46.
A little confusion here.
Florida forced to take one of their 3 timeouts. 10:19 to go in the third. A sunny day in the South, especially if your name is Prothro or Shula. Facing an undefeated Florida team that has now moved out across midfield, but Jamel Cornelius remains on the bench. Kenneth Tukes has taken his place. Billy Latsko is also on the field. That's Latsko, number 42, in motion. Play fake, Leak. Little hook pattern. Flag is down before the snap.
There are flags on the play.
As long as the guy signing the checks can spell it right, you're okay.
False start. And Cornelius got taped up. He's back on the field. There he is, bottom of the screen.
We've talked about this Alabama defense so much today. I mean, this was a defense that last year finished the season ranked number 2 in the country in total defense. 9 starters back, and they are playing at an even higher level, I think, right now.
Here's Leak.
Good
right
protection.
side. And that catch is made. Dallas Baker still running free down the sidelines and is out of bounds at the 21, I believe.
That was excellent pass protection for Chris Leak. Able to stay back in the pocket. Dallas Baker at the top of the screen, just going to run a little out route. Ramsey Robinson is close by, but then we went for the tackle. He took a bad angle to Dallas Baker, and Baker smartly advanced it for several more yards.
Baker limps off. Well, Andre Caldwell out for the year with a broken leg. That happened against Tennessee.
First down, Florida.
And now Dallas Baker limps off. Jackson has been kind of a quiet factor today. So was Cornelius. They had huge games last week. 1st and 10 after the Baker catch of 23 yards. Leak, play fake. Throws it to a man who never got there. Now, we've talked a lot about this defense, and Joe Kynes is the defensive coordinator. I think the most quotable assistant coach in America. Among other things, he said trying to stop the spread option is like driving a dynamite truck through a Chicago fire. Right. There's a lot of margin for error.
He said Urban Meyer didn't reinvent the wheel, just rearranged the spokes a little differently than most folks. But they've defended it very well today, and it starts with stopping the inside run and then confusing the quarterback Chris Leak, and they've done both of those.
Alabama yet to yield points in the 3rd quarter in the first 4 games. Here's Leak with time, and he hits the umpire in the shoulder.
Chris Leak's pass intended for Jamal Cornelius. Incomplete.
Well, this is kind of a symbolic play for the way Florida's offense has been today. They just have been out of sync, a little out of whack.
Larry Leatherwood tried to get out of the way.
In the SEC, LSU 37.
Ouch.
Mississippi State 7.
That's not what he said. He did not say ouch. 3rd and 10. Wynn split way wide left. Leak finds a receiver, and there's a penalty down at the 18-yard line.
We might get offensive pass interference on this play. It looked like Dallas Baker pushed off on Ramsey Robinson before he made the catch. We'll see what the call is. Nope.
Holding 31 on the defense. The penalties declined. The play gained more than the yardage would have. First down.
Applying the penalty. They're going to Dallas Baker. They found something they like out here on the outside, working against Ramsey Robinson. Baker, a big receiver, and got the first down.
1st and 10. Four-man rush by Alabama across the middle again. Jackson, number 8, nailed by number 8.
Yeah, Larry got out of the way that time too. They threw it in the same spot and he jumped out of the way. They're trying to work against these zones and just finding little pockets against the zone. Again, Alabama rushing 4 or rushing 3 and trying to keep everything in front of them right now. It's not necessarily a prevent defense, but there's no sense giving up an easy one. Make Florida execute all the way down the field if they're going to score any points.
Skylar Jackson comes in at running back, number 25. Leak keeps it down at the 10. Tackle made by Juwan Simpson, number 42. There's Juwan Simpson, played last year as Juwan Garth. His stepfather passed away back last winter, and he took his stepfather's name to honor him, raised by his stepfather. So now Juwan Simpson.
Juwan's kind of the rah-rah guy of this defense. D'Amico Ryans is kind of the quiet leader. Juwan is more the emotional guy.
That bottom line is significant today. Leak 2 of 8. And this one's incomplete at the 6-yard line. It'll be 4th down.
And I don't think Chad Jackson wanted to catch that one. I mean, he did not look like he was ready to make that catch. Again, with a very few exceptions today, Chris Leak and his receivers have not had the same rhythm that they've had in the past. And that time, it looked like Chad Jackson just knew hits were coming from the inside. And you can see the frustration on Chris Leak's face.
Well, they will go for it on 4th down. No field goal attempt here. Skylar Thornton comes wide to the left side. 4th down and 3. Leak. Diving catch incomplete. Diving try incomplete. Chad Jackson again.
And this is the most frustration I've seen out of Chris Leak in a long time. I mean, he is not happy. I don't think he's happy with himself. I don't think he's happy with his receivers. And it's a different Chris Leak than we're used to seeing. He just has not been real accurate with his throws.
Chad Jackson played his high school ball about an hour up the road in Hoover, Alabama. Not a happy homecoming. All right, Tracy, 7:58 to go. Kenneth Darby is in at tailback and gets the handoff and maybe a yard. Maybe.
So right now, if you're Alabama, I mean, you don't want to get ultra conservative here. You want to stay with the things that you've been doing and mixing up the pass and run as effectively as they've been doing. But you also, more than anything, you want to be smart. You want to run the clock some. And you don't want to do anything silly with the football that gives Florida a short field, because right now their offense has not been able to score any touchdowns against your defense. So don't put your defense in a bad situation.
2nd and 10. Darby. There's another miss. Oh, you're right.
Yeah, he's fun to watch. I mean, he's not overly big. He's 205 pounds. He's not a guy that was a heavily recruited kind of guy, but he just knows how to run the football. He's got great vision like all great backs do, but his ability to make people miss in the hole is, I think, what makes him special. And I mentioned Kurt Warner. There was also a guy that played by the name of Barry Sanders that did that pretty well too. Probably the best ever at planting and moving sideways and making people miss. And Ken Darby just, he makes people miss him, and he doesn't get a lot of direct hits on him because of it.
Again, coming off of what is called sports hernia surgery. Injury in his lower abdomen last year. Here's the toss to Darby coming right. He's got Kyle Tatum leading the way. This time he's caught from behind.
What a play by Seiler.
Brandon Seiler. 6:37 in the 3rd here. Let's go back to New York. Here's Tim Brando.
A 2-yard gain. 2nd and 8 at the 24.
Oh my gosh, Tim.
Oh man.
They are beating the awesome Kangaroos of Austin College 42-9. Thank you, Tim. And I was actually doing the Amos Alonzo Stag Bowl with the Lee Gross Cup in 1977. Not far from here. Oh, goodness. Oh, you know, it's always nice when you take care of your alumni contribution in unexpected ways.
Yeah,
huh?
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Texas Lutheran.
Used to be Texas Lutheran College when I was there.
Okay.
Now we're a full-fledged Texas Lutheran University. And it is I'm very proud of it.
Good.
Very, very proud.
That's a big win.
They've had a big season.
The Austin Kangaroos, huh?
Up there with the feisty Night Owls of Rice.
They play right down the road tonight in Birmingham against UAB.
If we could just get past Mary Hardin Baylor. Here's the handoff again. It's
they're whistling it dead.
Castile. No, come back.
There's a flag on the play.
5-yard penalty. Down remains 3rd.
Chris Capps for moving a little early, the left tackle. There was movement across the line by Florida, but the call was that they were drawn off sides by the movement by Alabama, so it sets them back 5 yards and brings up a 3rd down and 15, or 3rd down and 13, actually.
At the 19.
Again, this is one of those situations where you want to be smart with the football. If you can't get all the first down, dump it off, get what you can, punt the football, and let your defense play with the long field.
Clock winding down. 3 seconds on the play clock. They do get it snapped. 3-man rush by Florida. Coyle fires it left side. Caught by Keith Brown. Hauled down by Kyle Jackson, but that's another Alabama first down.
Boy, he's got a heck of an arm. I mean, you know, both these guys are gifted passers. I said that at the top of the show. I think Brody's arm is a little stronger than Chris Leak's arm. He can really shoot that thing out there, and that was a shot to Keith Brown. He moved in the pocket, and that's why he got loose from the defenders, because he scrambled a little bit, and that caused the defense to react, and then he spotted Keith Brown past the first down marker.
Keith Brown, 9 for touchdowns on 11 coming into the game. There's a flagged out. Darby around the corner. Tyrone Prothro down there to help block, but I bet this is coming back.
There's a flag on the play.
And once again, let's go back to New York. Here's Tim Brando.
Absolutely. That's a huge win for Penn State. They've had trouble with Minnesota and their running game the last few years, but that's a great win. Great win.
And it's a terrific season for Joe Paterno.
Yep, it sure is.
Really is. Penalty marked off against Alabama. It'll be 1st and 20. Brody Coyle, recruited to come here. Of course, his dad, John, was an all-conference defensive end back in '73, a national championship team. Brody was actually recruited by Mike DuBose. And then there was a coaching switch, and Franchione came in. Coffey's in there now. Here's the handoff to the freshman, Glenn Coffey. But Brody Coyle honored his commitment, even though Dennis Franchione was primarily an option offense.
Well, I think with Brody Coyle, and sometimes you get this with kids, I mean, he was recruited by the University of Alabama. I don't think it really mattered who the head coach was.
Gotcha.
Unless they weren't going to throw the ball ever, Brody Coyle was going to be the quarterback at Alabama. And that was just something that he wanted to do. His dad played here, like you mentioned, and it's worked out real well for him. And when he's been healthy, he is really a good player. He can really throw it. And the team really rallies around his leadership.
2nd down and 19. Drills it out left, but good coverage by Earl Everett. Brody Coyle's sister Reagan was a basketball player here at Alabama, and homecoming queen, and married the quarterback. John Phillips, who started 4 games back in 1998. Brody was smiling, not laughing, but about the knee surgeries. He said it's a genetic thing. My dad had an ACL. My sister had an ACL. I've had 2 of them. And he has drawn great strength from the strength coach, the assistant here, Terry Jones Jr., whose son, Terry Jones Jr. is a tight end with the Baltimore Ravens. And he said through all the rehab last year, TJ, as he called him, helped because his son had overcome 2 ACL injuries. And 3rd down, it'll be forthcoming. Well, what's going on with Southern California? Once again, here's Tim.
4th down. Jeremy Schatz to punt.
You do a pretty nice impression, Tim, of the Trojan band.
I wonder if he was doing the thing with the finger, too. You got to do that when you play the song.
Jeremy Schatz is on to punt. Oh, beauty. Vernell Brown at the 40.
Guess who?
D'Amico Ryans.
Yeah, he doesn't miss. If he gets to you, you're going down. I mean, it's just a foregone conclusion.
Again, 3 down for the Joe Kynes defense. Here's a play fake from Leak. dodges the sack and fires it out for. I guarantee you he heard footsteps. Yeah. Oh, did he ever.
That was an outstanding effort by Chris Leak, getting away from pressure and then throwing it out on the scramble to Skylar Thornton, but Skylar not able to make the catch. D'Amico Ryans out there in coverage. I mean, if D'Amico's running after you, you are going to know where he is. You're going to know he's around. Watch Skylar Thornton. He took his eyes off the ball and put him on D'Amico Ryans, and when he did that, the ball popped out.
That's the second or third time we've seen short arms. Here's Leak. That one caught at the 35-yard line. Simeon Castile makes the catch in front of Chad Jackson. Well, coming into today's game, Pete Carroll and his Southern California Trojans 25 wins in succession. Go back over last year when Urban Meyer's Utah team was 12-0 and he had won 20 in a row. Mac Brown 11 in a row. So those two streaks on the left-hand side in danger, both of them. 3rd and 3. Ryan's blitzing. Leak gets by him, finds Dallas Baker, and the tackle is made up at the 50, but that easily accomplishes the first down. That's a gain of 15 yards.
Right now, Florida has all but abandoned their running game, completely abandoned the option game. I mean, with the score 31-3, even though we're still in the last minute of the third quarter, they're going pretty much to a 5-wide receiver, pure passing type package. They might throw a draw or something in there every now and then, but the option game is pretty much out.
Jamel Cornelius, Tracy Wolfson tells us, is being taken care of again on the sidelines, an ankle injury. Here's Leak. Pass complete at the 46-yard line. Chad Jackson.
They just have not given Chad Jackson any room to breathe. I'm sure for these Alabama players, that's some incentive with him being an Alabama guy and his homecoming. I mean, they have given him a lot of special attention today. And when he has caught the ball, he has had nowhere to run with the ball after the catch.
7 catches today, but for only 42 yards. That is the end of 3 at Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And what a 3 it has been. The end of the third quarter, 31-3. Alabama will return to Tuscaloosa right after this word from your local station. Young man who will graduate in December, 1 semester early. We begin the 4th. Vern Lundquist, Todd Blackledge, Tracy Wolfson. And here is Chris Leak across the middle, incomplete. It will be 3rd down as Mike Shula attempts to even his record, Todd, now at 15-15. But this is really the first time he's been able to play with a full complement of guys.
Yeah, there's so much talk about, Mike Shula needs to win a signature game. He's got to, prove that he can win the big game. But this is the first time that he's playing, like you said, with a full deck. His first year in here, he was here 114 days before the season opened. No spring practice. A football team that had 3 coaches in 6 months. His second year, he lost his quarterback, both his tailbacks, his fullback. Played the whole second half of the year kind of with one hand.
Leak under pressure. That one's tipped incomplete. It'll be 4th down. Freddie Roach, middle linebacker. It'll be 4th and 7.
The pass was tipped by Freddie Roach.
You could just feel the difference. We were talking about Mike Shula. You can feel the difference, not just with him, but with their whole team. I mean, and Brody Croyle said, this is the first time that this team has felt like we could win a game like this. And they certainly showed that from the very beginning.
On 4th, they go for it. Leak, Chad Jackson, that'll be close. See where the spot is. I think he may have gotten it.
But again, I mean, that play is typical of the day it's been for Chad Jackson. I mean, he makes the catch, he got the first down, and he got about 3 inches after the catch. I mean, they have not given him any room to run after he catches the football. Alabama has tackled extremely well in this game. Leak finds him, makes the catch, first down, 0 movement after that. But a new set of downs for the Gators.
There's a play fake. Leak under pressure. Shakes the tackle, but he can't get the second. The first man there was Mark Anderson, and then it was D'Amico Ryans. There's Anderson playing with a dislocated thumb, and D'Amico Ryans playing with all parts intact.
And wasn't it Joe Kynes who told us yesterday that those 3 guys he singled out, Mark Anderson, D'Amico Ryans, and Roman Harper, the safety, those 3 guys have set the tempo for this whole defense from the very beginning of summer. Didn't matter what the circumstances were. They came out and played hard every day, and they have really carried the defense so far.
Leak incomplete, but there's going to be holding, I'm sure. Gavin Dickey was the intended receiver. He's the 3rd string quarterback and also plays as a wide receiver, and this one will go against Florida.
Well, it might have been roughing the passer, too.
Oh, could have been.
No, they got it. And right now, Alabama knows Florida
Holding,
can't run the football.
68 on the offense, penalty 10 yards. Down remains second.
They can't run the football. If we're going to rush 3 or 4, whatever, we just need to pin our ears back and get to the quarterback. And that's a tough place to be in if you're an offensive lineman, when you know that you have to throw and the defense knows you have to throw as well.
Sacked 3 times, hurried 11, knocked down 4, and 3 batted balls. Been a long, long afternoon for the junior Chris Leak. Across the middle, caught Dallas Baker, and there are 3 men who have a meeting at his middle.
His defense is fast. I mean, they're not an overly big defensive front. I mean, their defensive tackles are not as big as Tennessee's or LSU's, but they are really fast. Their linebackers and their defensive ends, they can all run. Their secondary obviously can run. They get to the football extremely well.
3rd and 17. Alabama brings only 3, but that pressure forces Leak outside. It's intercepted. Picked off by Ramsey Robinson, and he's got blocking help. Robinson inside the 45, out of bounds at the 41. His first interception of the year, the second that Leak has thrown in this game and in this season.
Well, it's a 3-man rush. Here's Ramsey Robinson. They're trying to get the ball inside to Chad Jackson, and he's just going to read it. He's going to read the quarterback at the 3-man rush and just kind of slide in right in front of the football. They tried to go to Chad Jackson. Ramsey Robinson was there, and Alabama stops another drive.
2 Leak interceptions today. It's 31-3. 31-3. Brody Croyle also told us yesterday, we are where we expected to be. We also expect to be undefeated going into the bye week. They were very confident.
They really were.
But not in any arrogant way at all. Here's Croyle throwing it, sacked at the 50. And every time he goes down like that, you can hear a collective breath there. Marcus Thomas makes the tackle. Alabama about to go 2-0 or 2-0 and 4-0 overall. Auburn 1-0 in conference play. LSU, of course, lost that close one in overtime the other night. And Ole Miss 0-1, Mississippi State 1-3, Arkansas 0-2.
And I think the big difference between Alabama and any of those other teams in the West is the experience level of Brody Croyle. The quarterback position, the experience. Alabama has it. None of those other teams do.
2nd down, Darby. Southern Cal trailing Arizona State last we checked. Let's check again. Here's Tim Brando.
Stephen Harris made the tackle with Jeremy Mincy.
I do know what you mean, Tim. It looks like Oregon all over, doesn't it?
Well, and it looks like their defense flipped on the switch a little bit too, because Sam Keller and that Arizona State offense that Dirk Cutter runs, they are good. I mean, they can score and move the football, and they haven't scored in a long while, it doesn't appear. And one of those touchdowns was a punt return.
Here's Croyle. Blitz coming. Croyle goes right. Pulls up. Drills it. One hopper. Incomplete. 4th down. Ezekiel Knight, the intended receiver. What kind of day for Tyrone Prothro today?
Well, he's had an outstanding day. He's had 5 catches for 134 yards. This, the first play of the game, set the tone. A couple acrobatic grabs. And then another touchdown. He also had a long punt return that was called back for a penalty, so he has been very much a factor today for the Alabama offense. It's an interesting play right there on the sideline. Brody Croyle was roughed by Jeremy Mincy, and immediately 2 or 3 Alabama offensive linemen went right to his aid. Jeremy Mincy was the guy who kind of sounded off this week in the press, saying he thought Tennessee's defense was a little bit better than Alabama's, thought this game could be a blowout. Well, he was right. It's just not going the way he anticipated. And you can see Klausner and Tatum right there in Jeremy Mincy's face at the end of that play.
Jeremy Mincy with the
Florida 32.
with the widely quoted words. As a matter of fact, Mike Shula, as he was leaving our meeting yesterday, looked down with a grin and said, "You know, I read somewhere that somebody said this could be a blowout."
Yeah.
So they hear and they read. Here's the handoff. Darby.
I just don't know if he read the whole thing. You know, he got part of it right.
Darby tackled by Jarvis Herring. A gain of about a yard.
Yeah, you don't think these guys love their quarterback. I mean, Brody Croyle is a warrior, and they know it. And they know that as long as they keep him healthy, they've got a chance to do big things here. And that's particularly true for the seniors. I mean, they know this is their last shot to leave their mark and their impression on Alabama football. And it all starts with number 12. They got to keep him healthy, keep him happy, and he'll take care of them, and he's done that today. What a great game he's had.
McLean starts in motion, then sets up to be the lead blocker for Darby, and he goes left. Brody Croyle and J.B. Klausner are roommates, along with Justin Ballard and Kyle Bennett, 2 of the other players on this Alabama team. And there's a little arguing going on with Marcus Thomas and McLean. I think we might.
I think Penn Wagers is going to just get both captains together and get things to calm down a little bit here, because there's obviously a lot of frustration on the part of the Florida football players. They were undefeated coming in, ranked number 5 in the country. Their defense had pretty much had their way with everybody they played this year so far until today. Alabama has been too much balance-wise. You see the 2 guys Penn's talking to, Jeremy Mincy and Brody Croyle.
That's a nice piece of officiating by Penn Wagers.
That's good sportsmanship on both their parts as well.
I think I don't know Jeremy Mincy, but I don't think he meant it as an insult.
No, I don't either. Really.
He was trying to compare them to Tennessee, and his opinion is that Tennessee had better athletes overall. But it certainly was not taken that way here in Tuscaloosa. 3rd and 10. Jimmy Johns is in at running back. Gets the handoff on the draw play. Young man who made his mark as a high school quarterback and pressed into service as a running back now. Jimmy Johns, his first carry of the year. And it's going to be 4th down. Tough to get up much enthusiasm and play the flute if your team is down 31-3. And you've got a really long bus ride back home. But the Florida band making music in the end zone.
Well, I don't think Alabama's going to go for it. I think they're just running the clock out. At this point, again, they're using as much clock as they can. 9 minutes left in the ball game, a 28-point lead. Milk it as much as we can.
And then receive a nice hand from the crowd as you get to the bench. Brody Croyle, well, they apparently are going to go for it unless he's going to pooch kick. Nope. Pumps, throws it, got a man open, dive, caught. No, it was dropped, but there's a flag. I thought Prothro had it.
And he doesn't look good. Prothro looks hurt. You could see Keith Brown waving the trainers out right away. He fell very awkwardly at the end of that play. The ball was a little bit underthrown, and that's why there was contact and ultimately the pass interference call. They had Prothro on the out and up. He had run by his man, and Brody Croyle not quite able to get the ball to him.
Penalty will be 15 yards. First down.
Now you see that, and I just think your mind automatically goes back to last year and all the injuries. Here's Croyle off his back foot.
Mincy got pressure, and he wasn't able to get enough on the ball, and you see him go up, and it looked like the left leg he came down on. Oh, yeah.
And they've immediately got the stretcher out. His left ankle. Oh boy. That is terribly reminiscent of a Joe Theismann injury that we all saw years ago. We'll be right back. The injured Tyrone Prothro taken into the locker room, from where he will, I'm sure, be taken immediately to a local hospital. And we're back live with 8:53 to go. After that pass interference call, it's first down Alabama at the 13. Croyle hands it off to Jimmy Johns, and he is caught for a loss by Marcus Thomas, number 44.
Well, 2 weeks ago, we saw Florida win a huge game over Tennessee, but lose two key guys, Ray McDonald, their defensive end, and Andre Caldwell to a broken leg on a kickoff return loss for the season. For Alabama now, the idea of losing Tyrone Prothro, who was such a critical part of their plan, not only on offense but in special teams, the only damper on an otherwise brilliant afternoon for Alabama.
Second down and 13. Jimmy Johns, the freshman, remains in at quarterback, at running back. And they'll work on the clock a little more. Here's Johns inside the 10. That'll set up a third down. The tackle made by Tony Joyner, number 19.
I think what Alabama does offensively, you know, we talk a lot about the spread option and how different this offense is with Urban Meyer, but Alabama's offense, there aren't many teams in the country anymore that line up with a tight end and a fullback and run I formation football and play action off of that, but that's what this team does. They're a physical group. They love to run the football. They've got a back that even if you outnumber them and put a guy up there that you can't block, he knows how to make people miss. And because of that, they are very difficult to defend. They make you play physical football.
3rd and 6. Draw play. Johns. Good Florida defense. Johns, however, breaks across the 5. That'll set up a fourth down.
Near the 5-yard line, tackled by Tony Joyner.
Brody Croyle told us yesterday he didn't think he'd played his best game, and Mike Shula concurred.
Yeah. But I think he's played his best game today. And you look at what he's done. He's moved the ball all over the place. Started out the game, and whenever you start the game with an 87-yard touchdown, I mean, that's a good sign of things to come. But he's done a great job of being smart with the football. He threw it away a couple times. He scrambled a couple times. Hasn't forced any bad throws.
Well, he's 14 of 18, and with 4th and 2, they will go for it. I think this might be.
It's clock. It's
exactly.
Also making Florida go the whole field. You don't need more points necessarily. You want the clock to run, and you want Florida to have to go 95+ yards to score any points.
Earl Everett makes the tackle on Jimmy Johns. And that would appear to be short of the first down, but they will bring the chain out for a measurement. Mike Shula, last year he lost Brody Croyle in game 3 before it was all over. He also had Spencer Pennington was the backup quarterback. Mark Gillen also, who's still on the team. And then they lost Ray Hudson. Then they lost Tim Castile. Then they lost Kenneth Darby. And Mike said, you know, We had to become a running team, and then we ran out of running backs, and now they have this injury to Tyrone Prothro. It's that short.
Well, they are very much a two-dimensional offense now with all these guys healthy. Plus, all their receivers last year, with the exception of Prothro, were freshmen. So now those guys all have a year under their belt. And you've got Keith Brown, who's now a sophomore, DJ Hall, who's now a sophomore, Matt Caddell, Ezekiel Knight. This is a well-balanced offensive team right now, but they certainly will miss Tyrone Prothro and his versatility.
97 yards away, it's 1st and 10. And there's an issue timeout called by Alabama. They used the second of their 3. Clock stops with 6 minutes and 24 seconds remaining in the ball game.
Welcome back to Tuscaloosa. An update on Tyrone Prothro. He was taken directly to an ambulance and on to the hospital. His family was surrounding him. I had a chance to speak with his uncle. His uncle said it looks like a broken left ankle. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Tracy. The junior out of Heflin, Alabama, tiny 2-stoplight town, about an hour east of Birmingham. Here's Leak with a handoff. It goes to Deshaun Wynn. He goes left. Roman Harper will make the tackle, but not until
Deshaun
Wynn forces him out of, is forced out of bounds. Chris Leak today, Todd.
Well, it hasn't been a banner day for Chris Leak. He was harassed and hounded, confused, beaten around, and he just didn't have the same kind of day. And I think after last week's performance by not only Chris Leak, but the entire offense, I think everybody was quick to say the Gators have got their swagger back on offense. They're back. But as you mentioned earlier, this isn't Lexington. And this Alabama defense, a lot more like the Tennessee defense they faced 2 weeks ago than the Kentucky defense they faced last week.
There was a face mask on the last play, the tackle, so it's a first down after the penalty out to the 23-yard line. 6:15 to go in the ball game. Leak still has it, rolling right. Fires it. Diving try is made by Casey. Can't get it. Let's check the CBS Sports Line stat of the game. Quarterback comparison. Leak 15 of 35. Brody Croyle 14 of 18. It has been a Brody Croyle kind of day.
Yeah, and you look at the touchdown to interception. Big difference for Brody Croyle as well. I mean, it was his best game of the season. He was in full command, and he was more comfortable from the very beginning than Chris Leak ever was in the ball game today.
2nd and 10. Up the middle, Deshaun Wynn goes left. Nice tackle made by Anthony Madison, number 9, but it's a gain of 16. Clock continues to roll. It's under 6 minutes now.
I think if you're Florida at this point now, you've got to go back to the drawing board a little bit. I mean, everything has gone well for you. Now you're looking at your first loss and a somewhat embarrassing loss here in Tuscaloosa. For Urban Meyer, you know, it's all going to go back to that offensive line again and starting with pass protection and being able to run the football and controlling the line of scrimmage. This offense doesn't work if you don't control the line.
Marcus Manson, who's from Tuscaloosa, gets the toss and comes right. He's a young man who spurned the opportunity to play here at Alabama, played for Hillcrest High School. Marcus Manson, his first carry today. A young fella who raised by his aunt, has a son, 22-month-old Trey, and this is a homecoming. He's not played a lot in his redshirt freshman year, but they do have high hopes for him.
Well, I think Urban Meyer really likes him. It's just one of those things right now. Marcus needs to be a little more consistent in holding on to the football. And Urban Meyer's a big stickler on if you don't practice well during the week, you're not going to play during the game. I mean, we play the guys that practice well.
Manson stays on the field. Here's Leak. Steps up under pressure. Got him. That's Bobby Greenwood, a true freshman.
One of only 2 true freshmen that are playing a lot of football for Alabama this year. Here's Bobby Greenwood right here, and the protection is pretty good at first, but Chris Leak not able to find a receiver, and Greenwood able to step through a couple blocks and get the sack. True freshman out of Prattville, same high school as Roman Harper.
That's the #1 team in 6A football here in Alabama now.
You're up on your high school prep sports here.
Prattville Lions had a bye last night. Here's Leak. Left side this time. Casey is open and makes the catch and then dives toward the first down chain, but he comes up a little bit short.
We mentioned that Alabama has the week off this week, a chance to rest up. Florida has a home game against Mississippi State, and then they will travel to Baton Rouge to play LSU on the 15th. So no rest for Florida, right back to work and trying to get this offense a little more consistent.
Of course, we go to Knoxville next week. How happy do you think the University of Tennessee football team is watching this game?
This helps them quite a bit.
Gets them right back in the thick of it. Of course, they lost 16-7 to Florida. It's 4th and 2. 4-man rush. Ryans is coming. Lead goes left, incomplete. Ball goes over on downs.
Incomplete.
Well, the story of this ball game has been Brody Croyle, and it's been the Alabama defense. D'Amico Ryans coming. It's a 4-man rush, but Mark Anderson, number 47, has had a monster game. I mean, he has been way too much for them to handle off the edge from his defensive end spot. The senior out of Tulsa, Oklahoma.
1st and 10. See if Brody Croyle comes back on the field. He does not. Here is the freshman, John Parker Wilson. He's from Hoover, where he was an all-state quarterback, true freshman. Mom and dad met and married at the University of Alabama. His mom was a cheerleader here. No doubt where he was going to go. Hand off to Jimmy Johns. Flag is down. This one will come back.
Well, I'll tell you what, Alabama has had a lot of good football plays called back today by penalties. And a game that's 31-3 possibly could have been a lot worse than this without the penalties against Alabama.
Holding, number 7 on the offense. Penalty will be 10 yards from the spot of the flag. First down.
That's on Will Oakley. Brody Croyle on the sidelines a moment ago. And D'Amico Ryans.
Those are two pretty good leaders. I mean, you think about what these guys have gone through as seniors in this program, and to be able to in their final year reap this kind of a benefit. I mean, I was just saying my senior year is the year we won the national championship, and the feeling of doing it in your senior year, there's nothing quite like it.
First down after the penalty. There's another trio of flags. And now Red Lobster presents today's scholar athlete. It would be D'Amico Ryans, justifiably. 3.7 grade point average. He'll graduate in December in 7 semesters, a 3-time academic All-America, and last year's academic All-America, academic All-SEC. Red Lobster's commitment to the investment of our future is shown today by donating $1,000 to Alabama's General Scholarship Fund. 1st and 21, Kyle Bennett, who is one of those roommates. He's on the field, and this is Jimmy Johns who comes up.
I thought it was funny listening to Joe Kynes yesterday. You're talking about D'Amico Ryans. He said in the meeting room, D'Amico's the barometer. He said, if I look at him and he looks at all confused, I know everybody else in the room is totally lost. So I've got to back up a few steps and start over again. D'Amico's the guy that kind of lets me know where I'm at in the meeting.
Well, to a man, the players and the coaches we talked with yesterday said, we asked about a statement game, and they said, well, if we win, it might be, but if we lose, it's not the end of our season. So nobody was hanging their hat on having to win this one, but certainly the most significant victory in Mike Shula's 3-year tenure here. And this is down at the 41-yard line.
Well, Jimmy Johns just fumbled the ball, and it came right back to him, and he's going to find himself on the bench now as Glenn Coffey's going to replace him.
5-yard loss.
Yep.
3rd down.
He was pretty fortunate there. That ball popped right back up to him.
Johns 8 for 18. Mike Shula saying, what are you thinking? This is the longest win since 1997. Ties it.
And for Brody Croyle, he's on an 8-game win streak
right
now as a starting quarterback. So
into the flat. There's another flag down. That's Kyle Bennett, who
John Parker Wilson's pass.
and another flag on this side. So we've got
There's a flag on the play.
so the discussion. 1986, first game of the year. The Ohio State Buckeyes in the kickoff classic. In the upper left-hand corner, the tight end's graduate assistant, Urban Meyer. And for the Alabama Crimson Tide, the quarterback, Mike Shula. His team won it 16-10. We asked Urban Meyer if he had any recollection of Mike Shula as the quarterback. He still, no, the guy I remember is Derek Thomas, who came on for an injured Cornelius Bennett in that game. Mike Shula's team actually played.
And illegal chop block, number 58 on the offense, declined, 4th down.
They played at Cincinnati when Meyer was a defensive back, but he did not suit up for the game. That was Shula's sophomore year. Mike had vivid memories also of the 1986 game when this Alabama team went to the Swamp and defeated Florida. He was 11 of 16 in that game. Here's Vernell Brown back to return the punt of Jeremy Schatz.
he is very little for a punter. I mean,
tiny guy.
He's not big, 5'7", but
strong leg.
5'7", 148. In '86, Mike Shula led the Tide to a 21-7 victory over the Gators. In the game, he completed 11 of 16 for 118 yards and 1 touchdown. Said his most vivid memory of that game came prior to the game. One of his high school teammates from Miami was a yell leader at the University of Florida. They had this really nice conversation an hour before the game, and then Mike came out in his role as captain. He says he came out of the tunnel and the very first person he saw was his yell leader high school friend who was doing the Gator chomp right in his face. Josh Portis is in at quarterback. And here is the run to the left side. You know, we work in a highly competitive business, and it's not normal to compliment the competition. But while we've got just 30 seconds or so, I must say I saw Tom Rinaldi's piece this morning on Charlie Weiss and the 10-year-old young boy named Montana who died after requesting. There's Shula getting wet. Anyway, I just wanted to congratulate Tom Rinaldi and Charlie Weiss. It was just a wonderfully sensitive piece that aired this morning. 103. Portis with the pitch. Now, how shocked are you by this, or were you?
I am shocked. I thought Alabama had a really good chance to win the football game because of their defense and Brody Croyle. I am shocked that it's this type of a score.
Tell you what we don't need is the throat slashing gesture we just got from DJ Hall.
Florida still has a lot to play for. Make no mistake. I mean, they still have a game with LSU, a game with Georgia at the end of the month, who's undefeated right now in the SEC.
Could be the final play of this one. Portis will run it. Out of bounds with 3 seconds to go. Mike Shula. Joe Kynes.
I think the Alabama defense was phenomenal today. Their defensive line controlled things, and the back seven just did not allow any big plays at all in the passing game.
This will be Urban Meyer's first loss as a coach in his last 21 games. Final play of the game. Portis with the pitch. Nyan Botan is tackled. Alabama wins it to go to 5-0, led by a brilliant effort from Brody Croyle. Celebration and touch.
What a win. You knock off the #5 team in the country. How did you guys do it?
Yeah, I was just so happy for our players. You know, we did it by this guy right here standing to your right. You know, Brody Croyle started the game with a great pass. Our defense, I can't say enough about the way they play, and Joe Kynes, what he's done for our football team and our defense, and personally for me. And, you know, this is a big win for us, but, you know, we got some big games coming up.
Brody, let me ask you, what does this win mean, not only to the team, not only to the seniors, but to the program after everything you guys have been through?
You know, it's huge right now. You know, all we talked about all week was we want to make history. This has never been done at Bryant-Denny Stadium before, and, you know, we're happy to do it, but this ain't where we want to stop. You know, we're 5-0 going into our off week. This is what we expect it to be. So, you know, we just have to continue to work hard, and I think if we do that, then we'll end up reaching our goals.
Coach, where does this one rank for you?
Well, it's pretty big, you know. You guys asked me earlier if this is a signature game, and I said there's only one signature game, but you know what? I'll put my initials on this one.
And Croyle, finally, is this a statement game for you guys?
It is. You know, this is a very good defense that we faced this afternoon, and you know, we came out and did what we had to do to put points on the board. But you know, it's a stepping stone. It's definitely a stepping stone.
Thanks a lot, bro.